The website, tacmobility.org. There's a lot of resources for people. A lot of cops love free shit. That is one thing that I have learned from y'all. They're like, do you want us to pay money? We have plenty of free stuff. So go to the website.
Welcome to Black and Blue, the podcast that's just for you. We bring solutions to everyday problems. We are here to humanize the badge by interviewing first responders and discussing their trainings, experiences, and publications. Black and Blue airs weekly at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in.
How people were like, oh, it's fine, it's no big deal, like it's not whatever. When I would ask, like, are you okay? And people just kind of brush it off. That's when I was like, So here's the thing about how our bodies work. In some way, shape, or form, the stress that you experience is gonna overflow into your life somehow. So it was more the negative stuff that I was picking up on. Dude, for reals. So like wellness, mental health training aside, there's like the very just regular ass stuff of like, how is your body talking to you? Can you even hear it anymore? And I think, you know, when you work in a field like you do and you're going, and then when you're not going, you're trying to kind of shift gears into family life or your personal life, your well-being and your self-care will just naturally fall to the bottom. Like if you have any single moms that are listening to this podcast, like this is another group of people where like you're putting all of these people first. So your physical needs just end up being last. Like simple things like, are you going pee when your body says I have to go pee, or do you just ignore it and your body just gets used to like just putting off these regular biological needs that you have? Like it's so interesting to me. You know how you dealt with the job and you're like, it's fine, it's not a big deal. I was like, apical bullshit. Like it was just a very extreme experience for me. Obviously, you know, I'm not from your guys' community, so it was something very different than what I've ever experienced. But it was like, I want to know more about this. I wonder if what people view as like racism or bias. Police reform was like a very, very hot topic at the time that I started this around 2017. So I walked out going like, I wonder if like what people view as racism or bias is really like this human limitation or this trauma response, but we're catching it on camera and one camera view at that. And it just really made me want to like press into the relationships that I had formed and start asking people, what are your guys' experiences like with that moment? Like, how are you guys trained for that? What do you do when that happens? Like, how do you understand what your body's doing in those moments? And from there, you know, we ended up building like this really huge survey that has, you know, now it has over 2,000 police responses, but you know, we just started like looking at this information and realizing like, man, if we're going to talk about police reform and we are not going to include the well-being of the people who are like carrying out these policies that are supposed to reform, we're not going to get anywhere successful. And then I ended up finding that suicide is the fastest growing way that law enforcement officers die. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It was such a surprise, and it came out of left field because no one was talking about this. Like everyone was like, we're good.
Yeah. That's a commonality. Yeah.
Like we're fine. We're tough. We're badasses. Like we're all the things. Like we've got the t-shirts. But when it came to like mental health, it was like, no, we're not talking about it. So I was like, I want to build something that doesn't suck when it comes to wellness. So we kind of got a tagline, resiliency training that doesn't suck. Like you have to be able to take wellness trainings that you approve, you know, something that you can invest in, like your emotions. Like if you're not buying into wellness, you're not going to do it. There's this post that I saw the other day that was saying the cost of anything is how much life you give for it. So it's like, you have to really understand the cost of your job and recognizing like, you're not doing easy stuff. And I think, like you mentioned, there's so many people that minimize other people's experiences because maybe they have more experience with something they view as more intense. But I think it just really leaves a lot of people feeling alienated. And like you said, the only other thing that you can do is shove it down, because your family, like my husband, he's a trooper. There's a lot of stuff that he does not share with me, and I'm really grateful for it. Like, I don't want to know a lot of it. But yeah, the chronic tension is a really big one. Like when I first met you guys and just listening to the war stories and, back in the day and all this stuff and people getting hit by cars. And how does your body feel in the day-to-day? He's like garbage. Real talk. Like, we could talk about mental health all day long, but like, if you just wake up and your body feels like garbage, man.
It's annoying, but it's to the point now, it's been so long that I hate to say you get used to it.
You get totally used to it. And I think this is where people are missing something major, is that chronic pain and suicidality are very intertwined.
Wow.
When you have decided that this is just your life, like you're just going to always feel like dog shit, it becomes very difficult to see hope in the future. Like if your body feels bad and it's changing how you can hang out with your kids, things that you can do, it prevents you from going on that fishing trip or going on that hiking trip, and your life just becomes very sedentary because moving doesn't feel good. I think that people are really minimizing just how much of a hit your mental health takes when you're no longer look at your body and feel like it's yours and you're in control of it. And man, I really feel for that. But chronic pain leads a lot of people down like a very dark mental health journey.
Wow.
Go to the website, tacmobility.org. There's a lot of resources. There's training information. We have full-length videos for recovery. We've got a lot of downloads for people, a lot of cops love free shit. That is one thing that I have learned from y'all.
That is true.
They're like, do you want us to pay money? We have plenty of free stuff. So go to the website. But I think if your listeners, if your followers could help us with our anonymous surveys, that is really going to be the best way that people in the police community can support each other. Is if we can get more information, then we can help advocate for better training. We can advocate for what it is that you guys want. We can, if I can just be a small part of your success or anybody else's success, like